All right, then. Well, with that said, let us get right into our Friday Night Smackdown review. And Ashton, we defer to you. How do we open this show up?
With Dean Ambrose. His music was the first thing that we heard, and it pretty much went all down the hill from there. But we open with Ambrose. We kind of get a recap of Monday Night Raw's opener with him getting triple teamed by Orton, Rollins, and Kane. He cuts a promo talking about how all he's heard for the last 2 years about how Seth is the smart one. He's so smart. He's the architect. And apparently, yeah, sure, he's smart because he had to be smart in order to realize that he couldn't take me on alone on Monday, which is why he, Kane, and Orton triple teamed me, blah, blah, blah. Orton wasn't on tonight at all. Could have spiced up the show a little bit. Rollins shows up on the Titantron, tells Ambrose that he just doesn't get it. He's so talented, but he just can't seem to figure it out. Without me, you are nothing. And he kind of drives that point home. But at one point, he does make the statement that he tweaked his knee on Monday, and he won't be able to get into that fight that Ambrose so desperately wants tonight. So he's going to get to face him. And then the camera pans over and we see Kane, and he does the pyro thing from backstage, which I don't know how it works, but it was cool, so I'll let it go.
Kane's always awesome. I enjoy him. As far as the back and forth between Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, these guys are always good with each other. I've really enjoyed their feud. Everybody's been clamoring for these guys to get 20-some minutes at Battleground because I think everybody's anticipating a match of the year contender. Consider me among them. Nothing really more to say here. I think you hit every point, Ashton. Dean Ambrose just continues to be more and more likable every week. And Seth Rollins, see, he's a guy. He's not going all over the place. He's making his basic points. He lets his actions do the talking. I really like Seth Rollins as a heel, and I even like more how he closed the show off, which we'll get to later. But I think he's done a fine job. So.
See, and to me, I think they should get maybe 15 minutes at Battleground. Ambrose wins to set up a match for the briefcase at SummerSlam, which does get 20+.
That would be amazing. Honestly, I hope it goes exactly like that. We'll have to wait and see. Otherwise, I think these guys are going to have matches, and I think the remainder of their year going into next year being, the road to WrestleMania, I think Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, they are really going to be the guys to watch out for. They're doing amazing things right now.
Yep. All right. Our first match of the night is Fandango and The Miz teaming up to take on the team of, and now, to me, this is just flat out bizarre, but apparently it's a thing, Sheamus and Dolph Ziggler. What?
I can't lie to you, Ashton, and this is one of the first really tentative statements I'm going to make because I did like this show. I'm not going to lie, I like this pairing of Fandango and Hollywood Miz. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I can get behind that. I just don't understand when Sheamus and Dolph Ziggler became friends.
I think, it goes, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. I don't know if that works here, but, Sheamus, he doesn't like The Miz. I don't think Dolph ever really had a good relationship with The Miz, and he's got stuff with Fandango. Sheamus has faced Fandango. They figure
what I just realized, John? This would have been so much better if it would have been a fatal four-way instead of a tag team match.
I'm still waiting for Sheamus to defend that United States title, which I'll make another remark about that a little later in the show. But
at what point do you want to make that remark?
Well, are we going to talk much about Jack Swagger and Rusev, or
yes.
Are we just going to really? Okay, so yeah, we'll just wait till we get to there then. But yeah, I thought this was a really fun opener. Honestly, I really still don't care for The Miz, but I'll be honest, I've been enjoying him, I guess, a little bit more into this gimmick. It sucks that he's a Tyler Breeze ripoff, and that really ticks me off. But he really does incorporate it in his match as well, because he was constantly protecting the face in this match. Like, even if it seemed like it was just going to be a right hand coming for him, he immediately went out. And it was such a strong level of consistency that I do have to, in all honesty, commend him for it. Fandango, it's interesting that now that he's, womanless and should be heartbroken, he was dancing a lot in this match as well. At certain points it seemed inappropriate. In fact, at one point he did it. Sheamus caught him in the white noise. So they really played up their characters well in this match, I thought. And Ziggler and Sheamus are always fun to watch in ring, so I felt like when you put those two elements together, you got a really fun opening match.
Yeah, absolutely. The match was really solid. To me, the biggest highlight of this match was not even the match itself, but the crowd. You had Sheamus in there with Miz, and we got We Want Ziggler chants, and then Miz tags Fandango in, and we get We Want Ziggler chants again. And like you said, Fandango did the little dance, Sheamus hit him with a white noise. It opened up an opportunity for a double tag. Crowd goes nuts. Ziggler kills everyone. Now, I do want to point this out, because this is a cool little, I guess you could call it like an Easter egg. Ziggler hit a Zack attack on The Miz, and freaking commentary referred to it as a famouser because LOL WWE commentary. But yeah, he hit the Zack attack on The Miz, and then went for a pin, and when the referee only counted to 2, he held up the LI sign in place of a 3.
That was awesome.
Like he was trying to tell the ref, LI, not LI though, but like 3, it was 3, this many.
Right. I thought that was really cool of Dolph to do. Honestly, I didn't catch the LI part, but I did catch the Zack attack part.
It was so classy.
Yeah, I've always heard that him and Zack are really good friends, and that's why I think they're programmed together over the United States title. Like, I had fun with it, even though I was rooting for Ziggler all the way through. So Ziggler's awesome. His offense, I think, is some of the most fun offense in WWE. He just really gets you into his matches no matter who the opposition is.
Yep.
And then I thought the finish was really nice because here Sheamus is setting up a bro kick. He's got Miz in his line of sight because that's been the whole story. He wants to bro kick Miz in the face because that's Miz's moneymaker, as he refers to it. Miz is able to duck, though. Fandango eats it. Miz shoves Sheamus out of the ring, so, maybe something similar will happen at Battleground this Sunday. But then Miz gets hit with a zigzag, and Ziggler gets the pin. So it's awesome to see Ziggler on the winning side of things.
Yeah, and then not only is he on the winning side of things, but he actually did end up picking up the pin, like you said. And then Sheamus comes in and tries to hog all the glory.
Because he's a douche.
So after the match was over, we saw Nikki Bella shown backstage. She was wearing a referee version of her attire. They said she was wearing a referee shirt, but it was really only about a third of one. But you get the point. We then find out that she is reffing a match between Alicia Fox and Eva Marie because, WWE loves to do the old classic heel versus heel divas match. This makes so much sense.
Honestly, while we're on the subject of Alicia Fox, I want to address really quickly that I read a story today that said that they're dropping the angle of Alicia Fox throwing her tantrums. Gotta say, I am a little disappointed by this. It was nice to see a diva get at least some semblance of character development and some kind of limelight. So, unless they're gonna make Alicia Fox this really bratty kind of heel that just kind of exerts whatever authority she thinks she has over other people, I don't know. I've lost some interest knowing that they're abandoning this. But regardless, yeah, heel versus heel. That they do that all the time. It's a hot commodity.
So yeah, the two heels tangle it up a few times and get driven over into the ropes, which Nikki breaks up each time. Good job, Nikki. When they get to the ropes, you're supposed to prevent any kind of physical contact. So yeah, good job doing her job. Eva Marie gets a few pinning combinations, and I will admit Nikki was a little bit slow, but it's nothing that would have cost Eva Marie the match, I don't think. But she gets down there each time and does a 1 count. And Eva starts to get angry, and she starts yelling at Nikki and poking her and prodding her. And eventually, Nikki walks into an Alicia Fox kick to what looked like the back of the leg. I feel like it was supposed to be an axe kick, but if it was terrible. If it wasn't, then I really wish that I would have known what it was actually aimed to be attacking. But regardless, we do get the double beatdown on Nikki, and nobody is surprised. Not even JBL.
Nope, because as JBL says, all women apparently inherently dislike each other. It's nature, and apparently the Total Divas universe, where Eva Marie is supposedly best friends with all of her castmates, including both the Bella twins, that's totally irrelevant in the WWE universe. So yeah, this double beatdown takes place. I really don't care. Admittedly, I think my interest will increase exponentially if we do get Brie Bella versus Stephanie McMahon at SummerSlam, but Nikki Bella just feels like such an odd piece in the story to me right now with the way they're using her that I'm really just quite apathetic to her troubles, to be honest.
I keep telling you, man, I don't think it's going to be Brie versus Stephanie. I think it's going to be Brie versus Nikki. I think that Nikki is going to turn heel. She's going to buy into everything that Stephanie has told her. She's going to do the whole, you left me, you abandoned me, I've been getting beat down, blah, blah, blah. Go after Brie, and maybe when Brie gets through Nikki, she'll go after Steph again. But I don't know. I just feel like there's a very low % chance of Stephanie actually getting back into the ring for a full-on match, even if it would only be like a 30-second squash match just to kind of get some of the heat off of her and onto a babyface diva. I don't think it would happen.
The only reason I believe that it really could happen is just due to all the events that we've seen and the idea that it would take place at a SummerSlam, which is one of the big four pay-per-views. I think they think that that's a match that could do quite well in that kind of a setting. But I could also see Brie versus Nikki for the reasons you just stated. So I guess there's nothing left for us to do but to throw our hands up in the air and wait and see.
Is it
So
really a big four anymore, John? I
I,
mean, I understand big three, but Survivor Series, really?
yeah, that's true. Survivor Series really has fallen off the totem pole there.
Yeah. But anyway, up next we had our Stardust Goldust vignette. If you want to say something, you can, but I have nothing to say about this.
Nope, let's move on.
Okay. Let's see here. Up next we had Chris Jericho. He gets a little backstage appearance. He comes out doing the whole Jericho thing. He has the big, gigantic yellow, black, and blue bruise on the left side of his face. Then Wyatt comes out. Great entrance as always. Tells Jericho not to worry about saving us because he should be worrying about saving himself this Sunday at Battleground. And we get Jericho versus Harper.
I thought this match was awesome.
It was. This was easily match of the night. And you know what's crazy, dude? This was easily match of the night, but on that same note, I feel like the second best match of the night was probably the tag match that opened the show. Miz Fandango versus Sheamus Ziggler.
I agree. I had so much fun with that match. I thought it was really entertaining. And this match was a great back and forth between Jericho and Harper. What I loved about it was I felt like it was the perfect play on between Harper's raw power and Jericho's like wily veteran experience.
And dude, here's my thing. Jericho felt like a cruiserweight in this match, man. He was flying around everywhere. He went to the top rope at least twice that I know of.
Yeah, he went to the top rope at least twice. There was one point he got Harper in the walls of Jericho, which, that was an impressive, a man the size of Harper, getting put in that maneuver. Rowan tries to interfere, but Jericho gets his springboard dropkick with Rowan on the apron. Harper tries to connect with the discus clothesline. Jericho rolls him up and gets the 3 count. So that was a brilliant sequence because Jericho actually gets the clean win over one of the Wyatt family members, which I was so glad it didn't end in a DQ because that is one thing that's kind of annoyed me periodically with the Wyatt family and their feuds is that so many matches seem to get thrown out. Another great moment in this match, kind of backtracking a bit, again, as I was saying, the experience of Jericho versus the power of Harper. The power bomb Harper nailed looked sick.
Yeah.
And Jericho King, and that was nice. And then a moment that I really, when he tries to do it to power wrestlers, I never get tired of, when he catches the code breaker and he just slams him back down. I do wish he could have turned it maybe into a little bit more of an offensive maneuver, but still, that looked freaking cool. So, big ups to these guys. I want to see them go at it again, personally, but this is a great first outing.
And dude, not even to mention, Jericho nailed a lion salt.
That's right, and Harper kicked out. The match was so intense.
I mean, it's kind of tough to say Harper kicked out because Jericho hit the lion salt, but then he immediately sold his stomach pretty much. So it wasn't really like one of those near fall kind of situations.
Right. I mean, the match was so intense. Harper's tank top started to come ripped. So Michael Cole said he probably will need to get a new one, and I guess implying that's the only one he has. So yeah.
I wonder if he's actually going to show up on Sunday with like an actually white wife beater.
Maybe. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how they deal with that. But yeah,
I wonder if he just buys it pre-stank.
Maybe.
Or post-stank, I guess I should say.
Yeah, get some grease on it. I don't want it nice and clean. None of that crap. But, no, I really enjoyed this back and forth. I'm really excited for Wyatt Jericho at Battleground. I think it could really be a show stealer if people aren't careful. They could take the rug right out from under the show and show us what they can do. I'm quite excited for it. This was a nice match. And then the post-match, Wyatt family weren't done, were they, Ashton?
Oh no, we always, as always, we got our beat down. Can't go without that.
No, you cannot. They started beating down Jericho, putting the boots to him big time.
But of course, you can't have a Wyatt family beatdown without the Usos making an appearance either.
Yeah, but the Usos in their bright orange, not at all looking like John Cena merchandise t-shirts, come out and make the save. This is another match that I'm really looking forward to, and that I will continue to say, for me personally, is the hardest to predict.
Uso boring.
Boring. The Usos versus Harper and Rowan, 2 out of 3 falls at Battleground. Um, I don't know. It's a shame that the last 2 shows, the 2 go-home shows of Build, have just been them attacking each other. I don't know if I would have preferred more promo work or just more getting inside the minds of these guys. But this was fine. You know, they made the save to Jericho. Nothing more you could say on that. I'm just glad it wasn't turned into a 6-man tag or something, and we just moved on after this. And we
Oh,
these
believe me,
guys.
my friend, it's going to be a 6-man tag by Monday.
I believe it too. You just know it's coming. You just know it is. So if we don't see that graphic,
Oh, hey,
we'll be
you
stunned.
paid your $10, or if you bought it on actual pay-per-view, $60 to see these 2 individual matches last night. Let's cram them together and give them to you for free.
But why did I waste my money? Because capitalism works. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that, man.